Yo, what's going on, everybody? I'm here to do the faction randomization thing for the Theme 3 tournament. So basically, first I'll go through the rule set so you understand what I'm picking. So basically, what's gonna happen is every player is gonna randomly be assigned 4 matchups. Here's the list of matchups. There's 25 possible ones. Germany versus Spain's the last one there. Um, 25 possible matchups. Every player will get 4 matchups. And the way it works is against each opponent. So let's say I'm playing Chuck in the first round. Um, we both will be able to use one matchup, and we play both sides of that matchup. So let's say I was given Poncelli as one of my matchups, and that's the one I decided to pick. So we'd play both sides of Poncelli, and let's say Chuck had like Carthage versus Macedon, and he decided to pick that as his matchup to play against me. We play both sides of that. If it's 2-2, you go to Rome versus Rome. But the idea is you cannot reuse a matchup at all. So if I use Poncelli in the first round, I can no longer use it, and I have to pick from my other 3 matchups. Now, that's not a matchup to get you all the way to the finals. You have 4 matchups to use in the first 3 rounds. Round 1, round 2, and the semifinals. So round of 16, quarterfinals, and semifinals. So that means that you'll use 3 matchups so out of 4, so you don't have to use one. And then if you get to the finals, I think we're gonna reassign like more random matchups again there. I think that's what the plan is. So yeah, you have to use 3 out of your 4 matchups. Once you use it, you can no longer use it. And you play both sides of every matchup that you encounter in the tournament. So yeah, you'll use one matchup per round. Your opponent will use one matchup. That's 4 games. And again, if it's 2-2, you go to the Rome versus Rome decider for the 5th game. So I've got two notepad things here. Obviously, the first one is all the matchups, and then I'll write down the players. So we'll just start from the top, and then I need to get a random number generator, so let's do that after that. So the first player is Earth, I believe. Yep, Earth. So now let's get a random number generator. RNG. I like to use random.org. It's quite good. So 1 to 25. So Earth's first matchup is the last matchup. That's Germany versus Spain. Confirming that. Yeah, Germany versus Spain. Germ versus Spain. Second one. Oh, I should mention that'll stick 21. So let me just get that down first. There's one other thing I wanted to mention. Greece versus Skith. The other thing is what I'm gonna do just to make sure that we don't get any like annoying thing is that for the first 2 play like for every first pair, so like between Earth and Skippy, if there's a repeat of a matchup, I'm gonna not keep it. I'll do another random one instead because that would limit their options or force them to potentially play the same matchup twice. And since you're already playing the reverse, you don't want to play 4 games in the same matchup. So if like Earth and Varus get the same matchup, I'll leave it because then you'll use a matchup, and if you go into round 2, then whatever. But for the original round 1 pairs, I will not have any repeat matchups because I think that would just be annoying. Anyway, so 21, we got that Greece versus Scythia. Just gonna check that. Yep. Next, matchup number 10, Ski Par. Another Scythia there for Earth. And then last one, 2. And that's Arm versus Parthia. So a lot of repeated factions there. Alright, second player was Skippy. Skippy. Alright, let's go through it. So again, he cannot get any of these 4 matchups just because I don't think that would be good. Number 19, that's Selly versus Macedon. Classic. Selly versus Mac. Next one, 7. Car Brit. Car versus Brit. Classic as well. 3. I believe we've had that. Nope, that's Eggy Brit. So, unrepeated. And last one, 14. Which is Britannia versus Greece. Okay, that's funny. Look at this. Car Brit, Eggy Brit, and Brit versus Greece. So a lot of options for Britannia there for Skippy, whichever one he prefers, or Selly versus Mac. Next one. Varus. Varus. Skip this. Oh, 14. So now that's actually okay. So I got 14 again. But since Varus and Skippy are not on the same initial side of the bracket, I'm gonna let it go. So that's Britannia versus Greece. Actually, I don't know why I don't like that. So he's gonna get versus Greece, and see, this is sort of annoying because in the second round they might have this, but we're gonna let it go just because I don't want to have to try and block all that from happening over like multiple rounds. It just might get kind of difficult. 23, which is car pont, car versus pont. 12, num versus Gree, num versus one more. 21, Gree versus Scythia, and again, it is up in the first uh matchup there, but it's a second part of the bracket, so it's okay. Save that, so I don't lose anything. All right, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're on to the next player, and again, now we can't have any repeats for Bod. You can't repeat any of Varus's matchups, basically. We go to 10. That's Ski Par. So we're seeing a lot of repeats, um, but not over the same matchup. Like, look at this, Ski Par, uh, Brit Gree, a lot of repeats there. Greece Scythia even. But anyway, that's just how it turns out. 23, now this is Car Pont. So yeah, we can't repeat that because Varus has Car versus Pont there. So we're gonna go again. 9. Rome versus Armenia. Rome versus Arm. 2. Arm versus Par. And another matchup that was in the first uh, bracket, but not here. And one more for Bod. 8, which is Mac Arm Classic. Mac versus Arm. Alright, that's done for Bodulus. And we're on to 5, which is right. Oh, I need to go back to the RNG. 10. And again, now we can do anything. So ski par, is that again? Has that been in like 3 times? Ski par, ski par. Yeah, this is the third Scythia versus Parthia. So we're gonna see a lot of that matchup apparently, as it's in all 3 of these. But okay, happens. 25. That's Germania versus Spain. Excuse me. Next one. 7. Just Germania versus Spain is 25. Car Brit again. Car versus Brit. And one more. 22. Okay, Rome versus Parthia. I haven't seen that yet. That's good. But there is Rome versus Armenia for Bod there. But again, it's not the same part of the bracket anyway. Who's next? Lone Berserker. Lone Berserker. It's a long name. 5. Where are the factions? Thrace versus Spain. Interesting. Thrace versus 21 is Greece Scythia. Versus Scythia. 19. Wait, was that in here? No, it wasn't. Okay. All good. 19, Sully Mac. So yeah, again, another one that's been there before. And number 1, Carmack. Car versus Mac. Alright. Last one of this half the bracket, or last 2 anyway. Spitfire. Spitfire. 1. But I don't believe. Oh no, he can't get it. Yeah, that's Car versus Mac again. Car versus Mac. Oh, can't do that again, obviously. 11. Namibia versus Spain. Oh, versus Spain. 16. Have we seen 16 yet? Spain versus Greece. I don't believe we've seen that. 24. Obviously, I got 16 again there, but I'm not going to repeat the same matchup. Gaul versus Dacia. Gaul versus 8. That's 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Next up is Moody. 16, so I got 16 in the last part of the bracket. Since Spit has it, 16 is Spain versus Greece, so we can't repeat that. So we're gonna have to speak 19. Sully versus Mac. Yep, all good. 13 is Pont Sully. 25, Germany versus Spain. Yep, all good. And one more for this half of the bracket. Number 11, which is Namibia versus Spain. Actually, that might have been in there. Yeah, it was. So we have to actually repeat it. 13, was that in there? Ponce Lucid, yeah, I already just said that. 12, Namibia versus Greece. That actually might have been there as well. No, it wasn't. Interesting. It was Spain versus Greece there. That's what I was thinking. Alright, so that's one half of the bracket. And we move on to the other half of the bracket. Number 9, Chucko. Let's see, what does Chuck get? Number 3, Eggy Brit. I'm not gonna do that. Oh fuck. Oops. I don't want to write these full things out. Is the problem there? Okay. Not 3 again, obviously. 10, Scythia versus Parthia. Scythia versus Par. 14, Brit versus Gree. Brit. And 22, that's gonna be Rome versus Parthia. Alright. And then 10 is me. Let's check it. Yep. 17, Dacia versus Spain. 12, Namibia versus Greece. 2, Armenia versus Parthia. Versus Par. And finally 19, Silly Mac versus Mac. Just want to make sure we don't have any copies there, but we do not, so all good. 11, that's going to be Steph. Alright. 14, Brit versus Gree. Brit versus Gree. 7, Car versus Brit. Another Brit there. 8, Mac Arm. 2, that's Arm versus Par again, but again, not a first round matchup with me, so we leave it. And Stefan's opponent is GOA. And he's gonna get 15. Numidia versus Germania. Versus 1. That's Carmack. Car versus 7. Carbrit. Now that might have been in the previous one. Yeah, it was. So we're gonna have to skip that. 10 is Ski Par. Let's see if that's a thing. Yeah, all good. Ski versus Par. 18. Numidia versus Dacia. Num versus Dak. Alright. That's 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Next player up is Luke Invictus. Number 2, Armenia versus Parthia. 25, it's German versus me. Okay. 13, Pont Sully. Pont versus Sully. And 15, that's Numidia versus Germania. Versus. Alright. Luke's opponent is Biatch. Or Beach, but I think it's actually Biatch. 16. Spain versus Greece. 20 is Germania versus Thrace. 12 is Numidia versus Greece. Now that might have been something Luke had. No, it was Numidia versus Germania. All good then. And one more. Fact. 18. Numidia versus Dacia. Now did Luke have that one? No. So all barbarian matchups for Biatch. Spain versus Greece, I guess. Rome versus Thrace, New versus Greece, New versus Dacia. Okay, all good. And Luke has the other, like, Numidia, Germania, Spain, Thrace matchups there. Numidia, Spain, Numidia, Germany. Okay, last bracket part. Tiberius. Number 1, that's Macedon versus Carthage again. Consistent capitalization, important, of course. 15. Numidia versus Germany. 6. Armenia versus Scythia. That one hasn't been there yet, I don't think. 19. Mac versus Mac. That's 4 and 2, 4. And the last person is Ural. And he will get Deja versus Spain. 24. Gaul versus Deja. 21. Greece versus Scythia. Greece versus Scythia. And the last one. Oh, that's 21 again. 15. Numidia versus Germania. Oh, that's already there for Tiberius, so one more. 21 we just had. Let me make sure. Let me make sure that's true. Yeah, Greece versus Scythia. 9. Niner. Rome versus Armenia. All right. I'll just spread them out so it's easy to read. And we're good to go. So there's the top part. Pause the video here, here, up there. And there's the bottom part. Anyway, yep, that should be it. Good luck, everybody. Have fun, and see you in the next video. Peace.